A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to talk on an interesting topic, the navamsha. Why? Because all of us are at the end of the day very much interested in knowing how our relationships in life will turn out to be. All of us need a companion. So, for companionship and many other things, companionship with the divine also, the navamsha is seen. The navamsha is said to be a chart that holds great importance in the Shodash Varga. And according to the Vimshopak calculations, the navamsha is the chart which is given the most number of points or the most importance after the D60. So, when we make an assessment of any planet through the navamsha, or for that matter, when we look into the navamsha, we get very microscopic view of the person's character, the person's life, how the dasha of a planet is going to pan out, and so much more. Today, we are going to talk about the love life of a person. But before we move forward, a big thanks to all of you for liking, sharing and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your suggestions, your comments there. If you haven't liked our videos, if you haven't subscribed to our videos, please do. And do remember to press the bell icon so that you can get the updates ASAP. The fifth house of any chart is said to be a great house. Why? Because the fifth house is a house of name and fame. Additionally, when we look into the D1 and the D9, because when we are talking about relationships, the fifth house also in the D1 and the D9 talks about our love life. It talks about how beautiful or how challenging that area of life can be. The fifth house is also the house of children. And the fifth house is also the house of mantra Shakti. So, when I told you earlier on, the D9 is seen to see all these aspects, a lot of aspects, I would stand corrected, I would stand on that point even with the D9, that the D9 is also used to check out, in the D9, the fifth house is used to check out your love life. If it's your chart that you're looking, or whoever's chart that you're looking into, the love life of that person, the fifth house is used to check about the children of the concerned person, and the fifth house is also used to talk about the mantra Shakti. Not everybody wants to get married, but nowadays in Kali Yuga, everybody wants a companion, that's different, but there are still many people who don't want to get married and who are on the path of the divine. They are very much connected to the divine. So, on that path of the divine, they will want to make associations with people who are in similar kind of a situation, or they can also go deep into their mantra Shakti, and they can have a lot of disciples, where the disciples also act as children. Having said so much, now, the fifth house is a house that we are all curious about, because it talks whether there will be love in the marriage, whether we will have a loving partner, one, or whether we will have a love marriage or no. So, love marriage is something that we have always discussed about in a number of videos. Here, I am going to pay stress on the love in the marriage. When the fifth house is afflicted, when the fifth house is a house which shows where there are a lot of malefic effects or malefics position there, and the fifth house does not have a lot of benefic effects, then there is no love in marriage. The person may want it, but will not get it. But when there are benefics sitting in the fifth house, then there is lot of love and happiness in the marriage. So, you can see this, because you know what happens is, just in the case, like in the case of Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi, if you look into the chart of Indira Gandhi, in the navamsha, the chart, the lagna chart comes from the Capricorn lagna, and in the fifth house of the D9 is placed Jupiter and Sun. Jupiter is the lord of the 12th and the 3rd house for the D9 Kundali. So, though it's a benefic, but it's a functional malefic for this chart, and it's retrograde. And what more, Jupiter is also placed in the nakshatra of Mrigasira. Okay, I'll tell you about Mrigasira later, but I'm just telling you the planetary positions now. And Sun is placed again very close to Jupiter in the D9 chart, and it's placed again with Jupiter in Mrigasira nakshatra. Sun is a malefic. It's also the 8th lord. So, there are malefic influences on the 5th house of the D9 chart. And I don't need to express what happened to Indira Gandhi's marriage and her love life. Was it there? Did her marriage have a sustainable love life? It didn't. Now, to top it, it's also in Mrigasira Nakshatra. The Mrigasira Nakshatra is said to be the one where one is always wandering about, not very satisfied, not very happy. First, the indications are that there is no love in the marriage and you're always looking out for that love, the elusive love. So, in this case, we find that with the nakshatra and the planetary combinations, it's established that she would probably, that's one area of life where she would be lacking. Now, let's look into her son's chart, Rajiv Gandhi's chart. They're all connected, right? Mother and son. But one did not have much love in life, in her married life. The other one had a lovely married life. Why? In her son's chart, in Rajiv Gandhi's navamsha chart, we find that the Lagna, as in the D1, is also coming from the from Leo. And the 2nd and the 11th lord, that is the planet of value of the D9 for Rajiv Gandhi, moves into the 5th house, and that's Mercury. It's a benefic, all right, okay. Though it does not have any malefic associations, but it's a benefic, and it's sitting in Purvashad Nakshatra. So, the benefic there is giving her a happy love life, but there would be some instances of fights, jhagda as we call it in Hindi, but it will still be sustainable love life. That fights would come because of Purvashada Nakshatra. Okay. Now, as I told you earlier that there are people who have not got married. So, what happens with their 5th house? See, as I said earlier again, that the 5th house of the D9 can also talk about, like the 5th house of the D1, it can also talk about your mantra shakti, your associations. So, when we are talking about the mantra shakti and the associations, I picked up the chart of Vivekananda ji. In Vivekananda ji's chart, you see his D9 Lagna comes from Scorpio. And in the D9, we have the 5th house is associated, or in the 5th house is placed Venus, which is an exalted Venus, and the 12th lord. And we also have Jupiter sitting on the Lagna of the D9, which is aspecting the 5th house and aspecting Venus there. So, it's an association of benefics, okay, in the D9 that makes the D9, 5th house of the D9 very strong. So, he is liable to find happiness in that area in life. How? Through his mantra shakti, and also through his gyan, to his intelligence, and also he would be having followers who would make sure that he reaches a pinnacle. And there would be good followers who would also be following him very passionately, very intensely, listening to all that he has to say and following his dictates. So, the 5th house of the D9 is a very strong house, and you can see a lot of things from that area of life. Do let us know how you found this working in your chart. And till we meet with you again, stay safe. Thank you.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.